Hello! How are you? It's been a while. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm really lazy. It's been a wild year. I apologize. I also apologize for looking like a crazy person at the moment. I woke up. It's Monday, February 21st, and I actually woke up like full of piss and vinegar, and I was like, holy cow. I actually have something I really want to talk about. Now, there's a whole bunch of things I'm going to talk about and update all of you, all 68 of you, woo! Amateur, low-end YouTube Canadian channel. My name is RVD the Dudar. Hello. Trying to get my camera right. It's been a while. I'm out of practice. I'm recording from a location. We're going to call it the prison basement. That is where I am. We'll get into that. Anyway, I'm RVD the Dudar, your friendly neighborhood Canadian. Sorry it's been a while. Usually my channel is about pop culture, movies, hockey, sometimes pro wrestling, thoughts about superhero movies, stuff like that. And, you know, old school wrestling fan, Oiler fan. Anyway, today, right now, we're going to talk about three quick things. Wearing a mask, still a pandemic, and I wanted to represent pandemic life in the future. So, quickly, Justin Trudeau, the pandemic, and internet influence on a generation of people that are weak-minded. So, quickly, I'm not a Justin Trudeau fan, okay? But I was born and raised mostly being a liberal most of my life as a young adult and young man. Born and raised in Edmonton. Not a bad thing. One of the few people in Edmonton who has a brain, who doesn't think the Oilers are the greatest thing in the world. So I'm not a Justin Trudeau fan. But I recognize the reason Justin Trudeau won his first election was because everyone wanted pot, marijuana, cannabis to be legal. And that's the only reason. So everyone wanted the right to smoke pot and for it to be legal, even though pot smells disgusting, and I'm not a fan. I think it's gross. And yes, it's a gateway drug. We're not even having this conversation. There's lots of people that smoke marijuana, which is fine, that live their lives comfortably, but there's lots of people who do that also go on to other things. It's just the way it is. Sometimes you want more things. There are lots of people who smoke too much pot, marijuana. Anyway, so Justin Trudeau gets in that way. Okay. Then Justin Trudeau gets a second term, which, okay, maybe that's just based on quality of opposition. And then recently we just had an election, which we didn't need. He called an election a year and a half early during a pandemic. So like 33% of voters voted for Justin Trudeau and the Liberals to run Canada, which is weird because 33% shouldn't dictate the policies of an entire country. You know, we should have a better political system. I trash on the American system a lot. Only two choices, you know, Democrat, Republican. They only have two choices, two parties, you know. But at least in the States, you get to vote for who the president is. Here, you vote the party. We should be able to vote who we want to be prime minister and who we want to represent us in our area, community, area we live in Canada. Anyway, I'm not a Justin Trudeau fan, okay? And I think in the last few weeks, last few months, he's just made himself more ridiculous, awful, and we look like a laughingstock to the rest of the world, rest of Canada. The rest of the world. Canada looks like a joke. All I'm saying, my point on this is just, he should have talked to the truck drivers that were protesting. He should have spoke to them. We're Canadians, we're Canada. We're not the Americans, we're not the United States, we're not other places in the world. We're like smart, caring people, you know? We should be able to talk to one another. We should be able to listen to different point of views. We are Canadian, we're friendly. That's who we are. So that's my point there. Justin Trudeau should have talked to them. Why are they doing this? Why are they there? What are their concerns? Honestly. Don't let the media, Canadian media's gotten worse since the pandemic, which sucks. But it helps if you don't watch, like I haven't really had cable television since 2016, honestly. And the last many months, I haven't had cable television in this prison basement since I think November or October last year. And it helps when you don't watch the news every day. It helps when you don't watch the news every week. You get your little blurbs when you sign into MSN or Google or Firefox or Chrome or whatever you're doing on the internet. Most of you are on your phones 24/7. So you're getting stuff on some social media platform. So you're getting little blurbs, and most people don't read more than that. So anyway, that's all I'm saying. Justin Trudeau should talk to people that have different points of view. And the way he's been acting in the House, Parliament, is disrespectful, insulting, immature, and laughable. He's not a leader. He's not a man. That's my 2 cents. I think Canada needs a better system when the voting structure is that. I think the Prime Minister, whoever that's going to be, should at least have 55% of the vote. At least 55%. That's all. Moving forward. Someone who only has 33% of the vote shouldn't be in charge. That's all. Would you let someone who had, 1/3 the say be in charge at your work, your family? No. So that's the Justin Trudeau part, okay? That's it. I'm not calling him names. I'm not, he's acting stupid, but that's it. Okay. Internet, social media. There's a whole generation now of people that are weak-minded, sad, weak, insecure, hate their lives. Social media isn't helping a whole group of teenagers, a whole group of young adults, a whole group of kids, raised by parents who don't care, raised by parents who are overworked sometimes, but also by parents who don't want to raise their children. They just want to work, buy another house, buy another car, buy another boat, go on another vacation. They don't care. They just throw their kids. Used to be throw your kids in front of the TV. Now it's put your kids in front of a phone. You're 8 years old, have a phone. You're 10 years old, go on the internet. I don't agree with that, but that's just my 2 cents. But anyway, my point is, there's a generation of people in my age demographic. Now, I can tell you how old I am. You won't believe me, so it doesn't matter. But, and I think that's a good thing, even wearing a mask, and even though I'm fucking growing my hair. Yeah, I've been growing my hair. That's a whole other thing. Anyway, I think if you're in your mid-30s to mid-40s to early 50s, that 15-year span, that's a big window. You were raised right. You grew up in an age where you were raised by parents who gave you discipline. You hung out with friends. You caused trouble. You caused destruction and damage. You weren't persecuted by the law. You were friends with everybody. Racism wasn't a thing, mostly. You grew up respecting women, respecting other cultures. It was cool when I was a kid going to my neighbor's house and eating different foods and smelling different things. Our generation was open to new things, new discoveries. We would play out until it was dark, until the lights came on. We'd go home. Our parents didn't worry about us. We beat each other up. There was an honor system. There was a code of growing up, of being a young man, a young teenager, a code of conduct. Even back then with being in gangs, maybe doing bad things, illegal things, criminal things. There was a code of conduct most people followed. If you got into a fight, you took a beating. No knives, no weapons, no hitting in the face. Stuff like that. This is the kind of culture many of us grew up on. That's why we are the people, some people, okay, boom. But we're just the ones who are smart, who figured it out, who were raised with discipline. Whether it's a one-parent family, 2 parents. Didn't matter. We didn't care about people's sexual orientation. We didn't care about people's skin color. We didn't care if you were liked other girls, other guys. You were nice to us. We were nice to you. That's it. The end. Boom. Social media now, especially last 10 years of nonstop social media, nonstop Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all this stuff, is corrupting a whole generation of kids, making them weak-minded, insecure, hating their lives, wanting to be fake, wanting attention, wanting negative attention. The reason I stopped being on Facebook many years ago is because it was the same thing. I was following a group of friends I hung out with, friends I used to work with, friends I used to know in high school, people I never saw for 10 years, and everyone 5-6 years ago was posting the same thing. What am I doing? What am I eating? How happy I am? How fake happy I am? What am I buying? It was all bullshit. It's all garbage. Most people on social media have been lying for years. Look how great my life is. Look how happy my marriage is. Look how good my kids are. Look how happy I am at my job. It's all bullshit. Everyone lies. So those people who log in, who are honest people, you get discouraged. You get sad. Oh, I can't believe my friend from high school is doing so well. Oh, I can't believe they bought a new house. Oh, I can't believe they never got divorced. Whatever the case may be. So for me, I was like, I felt like that, envious quality a bit. But I was like, no, man, I'm happy with my life. I'm happy with my choices. Yeah, not everything worked out the way I wanted, but that's my fault. No one else is to blame. Life throws curveballs, yada, yada, yada. So that's fine. But I think now it's worse. And it's worse for a younger generation, young children who aren't being raised properly by their kids, by their family, by their parents, by their moms, their dads, all that stuff. So it's creating a whole generation, woke, social justice warriors, identity politics, social politics, sexual orientation, all this stuff. It's causing this huge thing that was never an issue before. Gender identity and everything. It's just crazy. It's really simple. You're nice to me, I'm nice to you. Social media, how we are on the internet, that's not real life. I believe in a code of conduct. I've always believed and was raised to respect women, to behave a certain way in a public place. Back in the day, like 20 years ago, if you were in a restaurant with a cell phone and you talked on your cell phone, everyone in that restaurant would publicly shame you, boo you, call you a scumbag. 20 years ago. Now everyone's on their cell phones, mobile devices, having conversations, live chats, loud, on buses, on phones, in office meetings. I work with people who answer the phone while they're working. That's insane. It's not a work call. That's insane. That's where we are. I'm one of these old school people. I haven't brought my phone. I've maybe brought my phone to work 6 times in the last 10 years. I leave my phone at home because whether I'm working in the city or I'm working in some out of town small place, if I'm going to get bad news, they're going to reach out to me at work, or I can wait until after work to get the bad news. If someone died, if someone's in an accident, don't need to know while I'm working. I don't. That's just how I am. But anyway, I believe and was raised that you behave a certain way in public. If you're in the mall, you're dressed. You're fully dressed. You're wearing clothes. You're wearing underwear. Like, you smell good. You brush your teeth. You're respectful to people. If you're at a hockey game or a sporting event and you're sitting near a family or kids, you're not swearing, acting like an idiot. You're not getting drunk. You're not saying curse words in front of little kids. If you're in a group setting with people that are similar ages and you want to name call the referee or, talk about how stupid, the Calgary Flames are or whatever the case may be, that's fine. But if you're sitting next to a family, young babies, young kids, you're not swearing in front of them. That's my generation. 35 to 53. That's us. We're respectful in public. Yeah, we like to have a good time, but we know our limits. And the new generation doesn't know limits. They think the internet is a real thing. If you introduce yourself to me, you say, "Hi, my name is Billy." Cool. "Hi, Billy. My name is Reid." Boom. I don't care about your sexual orientation. I don't care what you do in your public life, your private life. Private life. See, amateur, rant. I behave a certain way when I'm out. Back in the day when you could shop, remember that a couple years ago when you were allowed to do things like go to movies and shop and stuff? You behave a certain way when you're in public. You behave a certain way when you're outside with your friends, when you're on a bus, when you're in a taxi cab, when you're in a restaurant eating with people, when you're ordering takeout, when you're buying stuff. You're nice to people. You should be nice to people that are serving you. And you're nice around the world that you're interacting with, that people can see you. When you're at home, in your privacy, then you can be a freak. Then you can be rude. Then you can watch sports, movies, get mad at Zack Snyder, get mad at the MCU, get mad at Star Wars, curse, name call, be freaky. You can have, consensual adult relationships with people in the privacy of your own bedroom, bathroom, deck, outside, roof, wherever. it's in your house. It's private. As long as you're not hurting anyone, you're not ever harming a kid or endangering the lives of anyone. What people's personal private lives you do in your private life shouldn't matter. And it shouldn't matter on the internet. The problem with the internet is lots of people willingly tell the world stuff and then are shocked that people throw it back in their face. You chose to tell them. You chose to tell people you think Zack Snyder is a great director. You chose to tell people that you thought, The Eternals was a good Marvel movie. You chose to tell people that The Last Jedi was a masterpiece. So people are shitting on you for a valid reason. That's my point. There's a whole generation of people that are confused, insecure, hate their lives, and they're doing this on the internet, typing, creating, canceling, being obsessed, being offended by everything. It sucks. My generation takes a lot to get us offended. And it's usually a real thing, like physical violence, physical harm, murder. You actually did someone. Not just typing, not just words. Which leads into the Captain Trips pandemic going on 2 years. Now, based on what I just said, I am someone who likes to follow the rules. So, ever since pandemic started, what are the rules? What are the safety precautions? I'm going to do what I can. Sure, my grandmother passed away. Sure, my mom passed away before all this happened. Thank God. Lots of people were affected by Captain Trips. I don't know if we're allowed to say the word. I don't know if we're allowed to say the C word. YouTube was weird a year ago where if you said it. So I call it Captain Trips. So the world overreacted March 16th, 2020. The world was shut down. The economy was shut down. Everything was shut down. Go back, because a lot of you have bad memories. A lot of you have selective memories. And a lot of you are just dumb. Go look at the world cases. Go look at the cases in Canada when we shut down the world for a couple months. Remember, it was 2 weeks to flatten the curve? Remember that? 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Anyway, so the world overreacts, but we don't close the borders right away. So we're overreacting. Stop going to movies. Stop going, but we're going to keep the borders open a little bit longer. See, right there. Problem. So world overreacts. Everyone stops. Everyone's not allowed to work at home. Industries start losing money. And then it's like, oh, we're going to give you money to stay home. Yada, yada, yada. The CERB program in Canada. Take money. Don't go to work. Businesses only do takeout. Only do delivery. Then everyone has to wear a mask. Wear a mask. Wear a mask. Be safe. Be safe. Wash your hands. Social distance. Don't hang out with friends. Everyone's bad. Then numbers, cases, deaths, hysteria, media manipulation. Crazy. Right? Right. Now we're almost at the 2-year anniversary of this. And in the last year, things started to change. Vaccines were being produced. Vaccines were being made. Vaccines were being tested. Then, the big thing, a lot of you seem to forget, the thing was, get a vaccine. If you get a vaccine, you don't have to wear a mask. If you get a vaccine, you get 2 vaccines, you get 2 shots. You can go to movies, you can go to restaurants, you can eat out, you can have a life again. Remember, that was the push a year ago. That's why people were, I want a vaccine because I want my life to get back to normal. That was the whole agenda. That was the whole thing. That was the incentive. It wasn't so much about health and safety. It was about, do you want your life back? Do you want to stop wearing a mask? Do you want to go to a movie? Do you want to eat out with 15 of your friends, which is ridiculous? Never go to a restaurant if there's more than 10 of you. It's just rude. That was the thing. Get a vaccine. Your life will come back to normal. Get a vaccine. Your life will return to normal. Oh, and you're being safe. So now it's almost been a year. Vaccines. Pick a vaccine. Moderna. Pfizer. Whatever you want. Roll the dice. And then the media was like, oh no, if you don't get a vaccine, you're a bad person. If you don't get 2 vaccines, you're a bad person. If you don't get 2 vaccines and a booster, you're a bad person. If you don't get 2 vaccines, a booster, and another booster, you're a bad person. The media started spinning it. Listen. The Captain Trips, when it started, it's a virus. And when it first started, I'm not a scientist, obviously. Look at my hair. But Viruses mutate and viruses evolve, just as science. Science is always about data, results, testing, learning, and it just keeps going. So science is always happening. So a virus mutates when it starts to like lose steam. Maybe it's dying. It needs to mutate to stay alive. So most people who were affected by the initial Captain Trips, it sucks. It was horrible. When things got bad, it got bad. Lots of people of certain age groups were targeted. Lots of unhealthy people, obese people. It affected everyone differently. And that sucks if you lost a loved one because of it. That's horrible. It's tragic. And it sucks, man. It sucks that we didn't take care of elderly, of our grandparents in homes, and people trusted to do that weren't keeping those places clean or even decent. It sucks. And that's horrible. And anyone who went through that kind of pain, trust me, I've lost parents, family members, friends. I get it. Non-Captain Trips related, but we all go through loss. We all go through experiences. But the point is, it was kind of like affecting everybody. And now, last couple months before Christmas, it was all about, if you don't get a vaccine, you're a bad person. Okay, interesting. That's an interesting spin, because we let people drink and drive, right? You drive a car, alcohol is legal, people can get drunk, get into their car, kill someone, right? Happens all the time. Murder someone with a car, drunk drivers, all the time. Alcohol is legal, okay? People who smoke, cancer, smoke, kills people, cancer, smoke, cancer, cigarettes. Cigarettes are legal. Warning, 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 right? Cigarettes are legal. I'm a Coca-Cola man. Coca-Cola is my life. I could probably lose 30 pounds now if I stopped drinking Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, fast food restaurants, sugary treats, potato chips, bad food, heart disease, right? Warning, warning, warning. You're going to be overweight. You're going to gain, you're going to lose blood pressure. All these medical effects of bad eating. It's all about choice. But now certain provinces have calmed down on this vaccine, QR codes, vaccine mandates, vaccine passports. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. Sometimes you got to do things during a pandemic. I understand that. But it's interesting, during a pandemic, if it's about health and safety, why were the rules so different in other parts of Canada? If it was about health and safety, shouldn't the rules be the same? If it's about public safety and health, shouldn't the guidelines be the same for every human being, regardless if you live in Quebec, Ontario, Alberta, BC, or even in the United States or around the world? If it was really about public health and safety, wouldn't the guidelines always be the same? And notice how they changed over the last 2 years, depending on where you were. And then now it's misinformation is code for asking questions. Mandates is now code for no more lockdowns. There's just mandates. There's just, you need this. I can speak from personal experience that the QR code damaged the business industry I'm in horribly. Our sales dropped well over 50%. Yes, people were ordering takeout and delivery. People didn't want to come in, which is their right. People got the vaccine. They wanted to live their lives. Things were reduced. Store hours, limitations everywhere. And now, some provinces are getting rid of the QR codes, vaccine passports, mandates, stuff like that. Trudeau, Emergency Act, all these things. And it's just interesting to watch it if you've been paying attention for almost 2 years now. How things started when there was nothing going on, and then cases got really bad, and then we opened for the summer because Jason Kenney, blah, blah, blah. And depending on where you are in the world, you're dealing with the pandemic totally differently. There's places in the States that have been open, free, and they're letting people live their lives because life is risk. Risk is life. You can't control if you're going to get hit by a car going to work, on a plane crash, assaulted, robbed. Life happens. Things happen. We do our best to limit risk Some people do. That's why I don't drive. I'm a horrible driver. I'm saving people's lives by not driving. You're welcome. It's just interesting that the media, with the pandemic, took different roles throughout the pandemic as things changed, as things evolved. It was interesting that Canadians were buying into this, let's hate other Canadians for their choices, where I'm like, let's hate Canadians for smoking. If you smoke, you're gross. You're a bad person, my opinion, right? Yes, I know, but like, that's where it goes. That's where it should go. If we're gonna go, you don't have 4 vaccines, you're a bad human being. You smoke, you're a bad human being. You're 80 pounds overweight, you're a bad human being. That's where that goes. You drink too much. You do too many drugs. Isn't that interesting? Say it out loud. Have conversations with your friends. Say things out loud. Don't just think them. Say them. Don't just type them. Say it out loud. Sometimes it sounds ridiculous when you say it out loud. I don't care who gets vaccinated, who doesn't get vaccinated. It's up to them. I'm still going to wear a mask when Alberta gets rid of the masks. I was the only one in my work, where I worked, that kept a mask on the entire summer. Even though Jason Kenney said it was safe, I'm like, Jason Kenney, you're not a scientist. You're an idiot. But in the same vein, I'm also thankful I live in Alberta, based on anywhere else in Canada, especially the last 6 months. As crazy as Alberta is, I'm happy to be an Albertan living in this during the pandemic, because holy cow, Quebec was insane. Quebec turned into like a place from World War II or China. It's weird. But even Saskatchewan was like, okay, let's calm down. So it's interesting that depending on where you live now in Canada, as it's February 21st, 2022, how the pandemic affects you is different. Same like in the United States, where there's places like Florida and Texas that are free. Free, right? What a concept. Freedom. Isn't that a right? 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 Anyway, parts of the world. It's interesting because at first it was totally about public safety, right? Health, safety, guidelines. Mostly everything was the same. Then it started to change, and now it's changed, and now Justin Trudeau being crazy. Listen, that's all. I just wanted to put out an incoherent rant about these things and have it on the internet because it makes me feel better. That's all, really. Like, you know, I'm a one-shot vaccinated human being. I did that by my choice. Yeah, I felt peer pressure, but I also saw some articles about how if you only get one shot, you're probably better off than the people that got 2 shots or 2 shots with a booster. Because the thing with the pandemic, Captain Trips, is what I've said from the beginning. Because I never was afraid of this. I live my life without fear. We should. Most of us do. We just don't think about it, that your life could end at any moment. Struck by lightning, attacked by a bear, attacked by a vampire, attacked by a werewolf, car crash, bus crash, robbed and killed in a store. You never know. You know, maybe you get attacked by OJ. Who knows? But the point is this. Life is freedom, life is choice, life is risk. That's what happens. And, you know, I just wanted to put it out there. Like, these are my incoherent thoughts about the last 2 years because I think it's funny that the world has gone crazy and Canadians are resorting to so much hate and anger with each other. It makes me sad because we used to be able to talk. Just talk. You know? I know people that think Zack Snyder, his best film is Batman v Superman. You know how annoying that is? I know people who actually think Rey is a Skywalker. She's not a Skywalker. She's Rey Palpatine. You know? I work with people who don't think South Park is funny. I work with some people who don't like bacon. Like, it's crazy. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you got some amusement from this. More videos to come. Prison Basement. I'm alive. I'm okay. Subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. RVD the Dudar. Cheers. Bye.